Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page, look us up, or hit see first to see and hear all the great programs we have here on WNHHLP. And just a reminder, Cannabis Corner Radio is also streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook page and procannabismedia.com. Welcome, everybody. It is Monday, April the 28th, 2025. I'm your host, Joe LaChance, Joe the Weed Guy. Welcome to Cannabis Corner, and I am joined, of course, here by the one and only Uncle Lou, Farmer Lou. How are you today?
Oh man, I'm just enjoying the day, good brother. You know, kind of going with the motions and kind of just allowing life to be life today, right?
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. I went out, I took a nice walk on the beach.
So far, so good, yeah.
We had a nice weekend. We had a nice event.
Beautiful weekend.
We had a nice event over at Nautilus. We had Gabe from Metatron Home Grow come up.
Yep.
And we had a lovely guest appearance by Millie from the massage therapist up there in Hartford. So
a
little
all
time
in your
for
own
you.
time, a little time for you. Yep.
Yeah. So she came down, stopped by, got some tips from Gabe.
A couple people did, which was really cool, and it's nice.
Well,
you know, and this is those grower tips, you know.
Well, here's the thing. Even though, okay, Nautilus is a legal dispensary, we want people to understand that we still support home grow. That Nautilus supports the home grow. I mean, right? Because it's a part of the legalization. And as we were, you and I were talking, if somebody needs some gummies, if somebody needs a little, you're not necessarily going to be able to grow enough flower for your consumption, especially if you're that's a conversation grower.
We've had a ton of times. We've had this conversation, and we always continue to share it. As a grower, you're going to grow as much as you can. You might get really good at it and always have enough flower. You might not be as great at it and not always have all of your flower that you need. So you might need to supplement. Sometimes you don't got a guy. We want to be the next option. We want to. I'd rather you purchase something from somebody that supports your hobbies and supports what you're doing versus somebody who naysays and you just have to go and feel bad about going. So we want you to be able to support what you're doing. Sometimes there's CBN that you might not be growing that, you want to be able to have access to that comes from the dispensary normally.
THCA,
all different things. Yep, all different things that you may want to enjoy that you don't just have growing. And then if you're like, well, I want to start trying CBN, we'll say CBN or THC or CBG or any of those
50-50 gummies, a little mix.
A little mixed, and you're either stuck waiting the next 6 months till whatever you do gets, and then you have to wait some more and then get to it. Or you can pick up some from us and stop on by.
Let's be real. I mean, even on the gray market, you're not going to find CBG, CBN, combination, nice, 50-50 or 80-20. You're not going to find those kind of gummies in the gray market, which are very medicinal. Mm-hmm. And this is where, whether you're a medical patient or an adult use patient comes in, there are just certain products you can't find.
Right.
And even you really, let's say you're a home grower, how are you going to know how to extract the CBG from your plants? There are just certain things you can't do at home.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying you want the benefits of, you want the benefits of certain different products that you may not be able to grow yourself or make yourself. And that may not be readily available. And I think that's where Nautilus can come in, because the people you have working there, Mike, you have good people working there who can guide you in the right direction for what you need for your particular, illness or whatever, even if you just want to get high for the day.
And we take that one step further. The growers that were there, they enjoyed talking with Katie, our pharmacist, because it was a different set of knowledge. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool.
Well, it was good to have the pharmacist there because I know the guy who came in was talking about how would it interact with the drug that he was on.
Hmm.
And he was talking about gummies, and he
Yep.
didn't know. And she had the answers for him. He
Hmm.
said he was on, I don't know, on Depakote or something like that. And he wanted to know if the gummies were safe. Now, because we had a pharmacist in there, she was able to answer his questions. So
Yeah,
that's the benefit of it. But yeah, it's
that's
been a
right.
very great experience for me, Lou, working at, even if it's only part time, coming in and seeing the customers, seeing the people, having these little pop up events. It's been very educational for me. Actually,
It's
like,
part of the dream, Joe.
yeah, I wanted to see what it was like from the inside. I mean, it was nice
You
that
are
they,
in the inside, all over the
and
place
it's
too.
and
So,
I'm learning how the state regulates you and the certain things you can and can't
hmm,
do as a dispensary owner, even as far as advertising, anything. There's a lot of regulation that people don't even know about. We talk about the big
yeah.
stuff, like how much it costs and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of little small things that the DCP gets involved in, and we'll have to see how it works out with this new cannabis commission. But
Or
that
this tax force, that's absolutely ridiculous because I truly do feel like we'll talk about this new tax force thing too. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
let's talk about it.
There's just as an operator, you know, I think that it tries to criminalize our employees. I think it tries to criminalize the owners. I think it tries to criminalize all the people that work in the space because, we're around the plant all day now where we have those odors around us and it would allow them to have a carte blanche, no real oversight, no real,
Yeah,
way
just
to
back to the
challenge
way
it.
it was. It's
Just
just
completely, hey, you smell like weed. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, we work in a dispensary. Of course we smell like
yeah.
weed. What do you mean? And they don't care.
No, and
They
it
do
seems
not
like
care.
it's back the way it was. I mean, this is what we were all afraid of, right? We had to carry Axe. Remember Axe? You had to carry it in
Yep.
your car, spray it all over you whenever you went in public because you didn't want to smell like weed because God forbid you walk by a cop or something. And we tried to fix that. And we did. We got a good 4 years out of it. And now here again, they just want to go back to the old way.
Yeah.
And that's just the smell bill. We're not even talking about this task force that they're going to go in after the smoke shops.
Yeah. And even with those smoke shop task force, you know what I mean? There's going to be no real oversight on that. Who's going to really say what or where they can do things? It's a
Here's what I
slippery
see
slope, bro.
happening. Here's what I see happening, and it's only because I know the nature of human beings and the nature of politics. I could see certain operators in certain cities making certain payments to certain people to keep eyes off of them, if you know what I'm saying, or
Oh
even
man.
turning over other people in exchange for, a blind eye. I
Oh
could see that happening because let's be real. I mean, not every smoke shop owner is from another country or not necessarily a resident of that city. There
well,
are, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
I do,
So
man.
if you are
Even
connected in the right way to the right people, you definitely could make favors.
and a lot of times that comes with advocacy and
Well, I did get a
lobbying for
little in.
themselves.
Yes.
Because there's some places that have a lawyer. They own 10, 15 locations. They have a lawyer. They have a lobbyist. Those individuals will probably be on one side of it, where other individuals who don't take part in any of that might be on the opposite side of it. You know what I mean?
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think there's a happy medium. I mean, what it's showing me is that there's quite a demand out there and that if they did come up with some kind of um like what they're doing with CBD and stuff, there might be a way to work around it, but yeah, I did get some inside info that the smell bill was kicked out of committee. They can review it, but it did not go through committee. The task force bill was also kicked out of committee without prejudice.
Right,
So
come back
that
and
can
do
be
it again.
brought back in, and which it will be.
Yeah,
Guaranteed it
100%.
will be. And what I'm seeing happen this year in the legislators, the same thing that happened last year. I see a big fat omnibus bill coming
Hmm.
2 weeks before session ends. Nobody's going to have time to read through it, and they're just going to push it through. And it's going to have all kinds of crap in it. And this is where we have to be vigilant. You might say, okay, they got kicked out of committee. That makes them, maybe pushed off. They'll come back. We
We're in
still got a whole
omnibus
month.
world.
We got a whole month to go for them to play games, and they will. They will. Just because
Joe, this is politics is normal in all honesty.
yeah. Oh, I agree. I agree, and it's even I've seen a lot of articles out there about how the legislator just wants to seem to play with the cannabis industry like it's their new toy. It's like to keep tweaking it and going to and back and forth when there's tons of other things in this state that we really could be focusing on other than
Well,
cannabis.
they go into camp. Well, there's a very loud lobby group now, like not just lobbyists but advocates as well. We're making this a big deal, which is okay. We make it a big deal because we want to fix it, but now you throw so much attention and so many people have their small little thoughts into it, and now there's also different avenues of everything and what's the next thing, you know.
Right,
So
right.
it's tough. It's tough, and I'm not saying any of it is right now because it's not. You know, as an operator, we see that this happens every day, and we have to be part of this. If not, they're just going to keep changing it to make it
And
harder and harder. And
to their net liking, and also the liking of the MSOs. Let's be real. I mean, I came to the realization that they're basically in partnership with them.
it's whoever plays the game, and it's not. I don't want to say play the game as in a negative connotation, but who's up talking to the people. They're like, well,
Yeah.
these are my constituents, and they've only they've only been able to talk to the same group of individuals because they have their time, they're at the same events, they're at the same um a whole bunch of different things that are just, oh, okay, well, you're at this event that's a $350 a plate event. Who's at it? People that are donating that 350 to your
Yep.
campaign to have dinner with you. And
And I think
you
Curaleaf,
know
their plant, had the money to afford that $350 banquet.
and it's a lot of
And
people
they
that
get
are in this
invited. We
space,
don't even get invited. We wouldn't
right?
even know when that fundraiser was.
I try to get to them and I try to share with you when they're there, but it's always finding out through a third or fourth channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
they're
we
not.
have to be there.
Yeah. And speaking of that, Lou, you are making an appearance on a TV show. I believe it's Wednesday, is it?
Wednesday, yes. Just
Tell us
with
a little bit
some of the
about
other.
that. You with Christina, with Aaron Gorman, Paul Travagliano, a lot of different people
Yeah.
from different areas of the industry. And it's CT
Um,
Politics, it's called?
CT politics and the political side, not just the cannabis side. We all know that she's a influencer, micro influencer. I don't know what they're called these days, but people that yell and scream and dance on the internet to share their political views that really end up taking off. You know what I mean? Millions of people act
Right.
and have the opinions with them, and it's pretty cool. And people, the community is not just the same 4 or 5 people that you sesh with. It's not the same. The
No,
community is literally everybody in all different walks of life. So,
that's my main thing that I try to drive home.
yep, I took
It's
that line from you, Joe.
we're all one big community, man. That's it. We got to
Your
stick
community is
together.
not just the same 4 or 5 people you sesh with, and then
No,
that's it.
it's
So,
big. It's legal market. It's growers. It's genetic
and
people.
this Wednesday, it's the
Oil makers,
politicians.
and it's politicians, unfortunately.
You know,
And
this
you're gonna,
Wednesday is going to be politics, and I don't talk too many politics because I keep a lot of it closer to the chest.
but I think you're
I'm
at the
fairly
point,
open.
Lou, where now that you're open, you're in the weeds, you're in the thick of it.
Oh yeah,
You're seeing it firsthand. You're
yep,
seeing,
yep.
and then you got to speak up because it's a
Laws affect my business every day.
Yes.
So laws that are changing affect my business every day. Depending on what happens, there'll be full industry shifts. There might be mass layoffs. And I know that sounds crazy, but
But you're right. You're right.
like that's my one thing that might happen is, and it's not even like the most negative mass layoffs. We're trying to see why numbers have to start going down. You know what I mean? You can go to a dispensary right now and get a $20 eighth, Joe. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah, the prices are starting to level off to street level.
right?
Unfortunately, now street level has gotten even lower. Um,
Well, that's an up and a down because we see some of these packaging that's really nice packaging. That stuff's not getting any cheaper. The flour's not getting any better, but the packaging is getting more extravagant.
it's getting
You
cheaper,
know what
but
I
not
mean?
better. You're right. What I
You know,
found is that almost all the flour out there tastes the same.
yep.
It's very generic. No matter what you call it, unless you want to pay the top dollar. But any of the stuff that's common out there, like you say, $20 ace, that kind of
Hmm.
stuff, it all tastes the same. It's really homogenized.
Yeah.
All this crossbreeding and all these different methods of growing has really created a whole category of weed that just is all the same, basically.
Well, all the
No
cost
matter,
effective stuff is spray packed. You know what I mean? And there's a large
yeah,
community that likes the spray pack, which is
yeah,
just terped out flour. That's not the best. It's an
light
outdoor
depth,
flour. It's usually an outdoor. These numbers are when you're doing outdoor, you don't have a price point realistically. It comes out super cheap, and we get
yeah,
those that they do mass produce outdoors with some spray on it. Then you get your light depths, which is greenhouses, which is some of it's
right.
coming out
They're
of the
just
legal
churning
market.
it out. These are autoflowers that they're just banging them out.
Then these greenhouses have been established for so long, Joe, that the overhead's been it's been taken care
Right.
of already at that point.
So they can bang
So
them out. Yeah.
there's a lot that goes into it.
And,
So
you got to know your strains. You got to be able to talk to. And I do believe that eventually, and I think we're coming to that point soon. And it's things like these forums and these things where we really get out there and make sure that the laws are geared towards expansion of the industry, not contraction and overregulation of it. I think we're going to see a turnaround here in Connecticut, but it has to be a turnaround in mindset of the legislature where the money's not going to come from enforcement and it's not going to come from overregulation. The money is going to come from it creating a thriving and expanding market with as many people involved as you possibly can get. And that's on all sides. And then you're going to see the state will be getting its tax money and the state will be getting, but it has to come up. We have to get to the point where the regulations and the proprietors are on the same page. And it's not that way right now.
I'll take it one step further, and people might get upset about it, but there's really not very many great quote unquote craft growers left in the state. You know what I mean? That are able to actually put out numbers.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that will say, "Oh, I grew this," and the realism of it is that they took a drive up to Maine or Ohio, picked up a whole bunch of stuff at a high number, and brought it back down. And
Yeah.
those are still your $40 to $50 eighths, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean, your
Yeah.
250 ounces, your $300 ounces. They're far and in between, but they're not coming from they're coming from a craft grower out of state who has
Out of
experience
state. Right.
doing
I can't, right. You're talking about
larger.
lumpies and people like that.
I'm talking about just people in general. You know what I mean? Because even when you go to a sesh or something, the better of the flower isn't coming from an actual home cultivator that's doing his thing in the craft world because they're just not able to have the space to pump it out. You know what I mean? And anybody who has in this state has already moved on to another state from what I've seen.
True.
Um, you
True.
know what I
True.
mean?
True.
So we had 10 years ago, we had some great growers that all just moved to Maine or Massachusetts, and they were like, "Okay, cool, I'll do it up here because
And
it's
they are.
friendlier."
You're right. I know a few personally. I don't want to bring up their names, but I
We're
do
not
know.
throwing names anywhere,
I
you
know them
know.
personally. People that
Yeah,
used to hang out, be part of the crew, and they're now living in Mass. And I know
yep,
people that are moving to Mass
yep.
to do the same thing. So it's true. It's true. And I think the state is starting to realize that. again, with this overregulation and using enforcement to try and make up you know, the gap, so to speak, as far as their money that they expected to make. I think they need to realize that it's all about bringing it in, expanding it, and making it bigger. And maybe they're about to come around. Who knows? But we'll, you know, it's a question of their mindset more than anything.
Right, right, right.
You know, I wanted to go over a couple of events before our guests joined us. This week is 420 Unity Week. I don't know if you know about this, but there is a big activity event going on all week in Washington, D.C. Jason Ortiz is a part of it. I know there is a whole crew going down to
Mm-hmm.
D.C. from Connecticut. A
Yep,
lot of
there's
the
usually on 420. There's usually some type of large event, and this year was a little different. They did the Unity Week the week after versus the week before.
and it comes at a good time because there is a lot of talk on the federal level.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not sure what they're looking at. It looks like decrim right now, but we'll see. You know, but it's important, you know, on the federal level too, because a lot of states and a lot of um, companies won't go into the cannabis industry until it's federally legal. And
mm-hmm.
a lot of states won't even consider legalization or medical until the feds give them the okay. So I think it's important, you know, as much as we've done here in the state level and in a lot of states, it's important to realize that the feds is a big linchpin in this whole
Yep.
game, you know. And if they're starting to move a little bit on it, it's real important that you get in there early and make sure that it's done in the right and proper way. And they do want to regulate it like alcohol. So it would keep it out of the hands of the FDA, which is kind of important because once the FDA gets involved, and it may be different now with RFK in charge, but then you know what happens to it, you know.
Right.
It just gets in the hands of big pharma and all those kind of things. So, but that is going on this week, the 420 Unity Week of Action. So there's a lot of events going on like that. Some of them virtual you can participate in. But if you're so inclined, you know, we will be, there's a couple of things, you know, going on here in Connecticut too. So, but there's also, let's see, there's a clone adoption event this Wednesday down at the Grove. That's from 6 to 8. Also, the CBD gurus are doing a educational series starting this weekend. And our good friends over at From Sun to Moon are doing their big Art and Soul
Mm-hmm.
this weekend. So I don't know if you all know about that, but that's we've had them on the air. It's a great event. It includes music, it includes art, it includes cannabis, it includes vendors, a lot of sneaker stuff, fashion. It's kind of a cultural event. These guys are great. They work in a lot of cannabis events. They put together events. They've been supporters of Nautilus and supporters of the cannabis community for a while. So it'd be nice to go support them. That's going to be in Bridgeport. That's this weekend on the 3rd. And you can check out From Sun to Moon to find out a little bit more about that. And the last thing I did want to highlight was our friend Kibra,
Mm-hmm.
finally, who's in the same spot as you, is going to have her grand opening this week.
Yes, very
May the 1st.
exciting. May 1st, very exciting.
Yep.
Lit New Haven will be opening. So please, please, please go down and check that out. Give a little support.
Yep. She's got a lot of
opening
cool
these things.
bands. She's got
Yep.
a food truck coming on. She's got a Caribbean band. So it's going to be a cool thing. I'm showing up. I'm sure you
That's
will
right.
too. We'll
I'm
both
coming
be there. So it's a good thing.
We're
So,
really excited.
yep. So we got our guests here. So I just want to give them a quick intro. With us, we have Luna Wolf, who is a proud Latina entrepreneur, herbalist, and a wellness advocate. First generation Cuban American whose family has been rooted in Connecticut since the 60s. Her heritage and upbringing have deeply shaped who she is and the work that she does. Growing up, she learned the value of hard work, family, and the healing power of nature, a legacy that inspires every product that she creates. She's committed to working with local organic farms here in Connecticut to source the highest quality ingredients, ensuring that every product is as natural and as sustainable as possible. As a Latina woman in a male dominated wellness industry, she's faced her share of challenges. But those obstacles have only fueled her passion for creating a space where natural healing and community come together. Her mission is to offer products that help people and pets while empowering others to embrace their holistic wellness. Luna Wolf is shop is more than just a business, it's a celebration of Luna's heritage, her community, and her vision for a more healthier and sustainable world. Luna, Denise, how are you? Do we have TJ on too? I can't see you right now.
Hi. Should be jumping on shortly.
All right, I'll give him an intro when he jumps on. But let's chat a little bit. So how are you doing, Denise?
Good as everybody today.
We're
You're
doing
doing
very, very
amazing.
well.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah. So I wanted to touch base with you a little bit. You guys have a lot of new things, a lot of different things going on. Um, First thing obviously is the Luna Wolf brand, right?
Of course.
And you've been doing that for how long now?
I believe this is our 5th or 6th year now.
Okay, right. And so now you said we talked a little bit about in your intro. What inspired you basically to go into the CBD and the cannabis, as the natural healing route that you decided to go? And I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do natural healing.
Of
There,
course.
right,
A family member of mine, between my grandfather and a couple other members, needed something for pain. And I made the roll on, and that helped a lot. So they were encouraging me to continue and just do more stuff like that. So because of them pushing me, that was just enough for me to keep doing that.
right. So basically, you were already using cannabis. You were kind of experimenting with it. Somebody in your family had a need. You decided to fill it, and your family encouraged you to continue on and start a business with it.
Of course.
Yeah, well, that's what it's about. Family encouraging you, getting you to get started, and here we are 5 years later, and you have a thriving business going. It's what I call one of the best hidden secrets in the cannabis industry because a lot of people don't know, but you have some really great and unique products that are CBD based, so it can
Mhm.
go out to the regular general public, but they also take care of specific needs. Do you know what I mean? So besides regular tinctures, right? You
Of course.
also focus on pets, which I think is very important. You have a great pet treat and a great pet CBD oil out. And I have actually been using your pet treats with the dogs here where I live because they're
Oh,
very
that's awesome.
rambunctious. Yes, yes, yes. Getting them through Nautilus.
Mhm.
They are available in Nautilus dispensaries. What made you decide? Because your products are very high quality, they're very good. What made you decide to go into that area for pets?
Oh, excuse me, a couple of my friends needed something specific for their dogs. They recently moved into smaller apartments or smaller houses, so they're dealing with um, dogs that usually are outside more versus they're more indoors versus being more outdoors. So they were just looking for something to help keep their dog calm, but also not take away their personality. More just toning the volume down for them. Oh, bee.
No, you're outdoors. And so, and so that's what motivated you to make it. And you also now, I notice, have this thing that I really like is the headache roll on. No, I've
Oh, one of my
seen,
favorites.
yeah, me too. I've seen, obviously, we've seen roll-ons and solves and all kinds of different things, but I've never seen one specifically made for headaches. What makes it specific for headache rather than, let's just say, for regular old muscle aches?
So it's essential oil based, along with a lot of CBD, witch hazel, and I usually make it during the full moon. So it added an extra magic touch to it. So that's something that I personally use. I always keep that in my backpack. I get headaches often, so I'm always looking for something quick and efficient and not pill based form.
Right, and I think that's what's important. I don't know if you remember back in the day. Do you remember that thing they called Head On?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was the most annoying commercial in the world, but it did work. And I see this, it's even smaller. And like you said, you can fit in your purse. And I know that a lot of people, especially women, suffer from migraines and stuff. And this is something that, when you feel a migraine coming on, if you have it in your purse or you have it in your pocket with you or in your car, you can just rub this right on and it'll start to relieve the symptoms quickly, correct?
Of course.
Yeah. So I think that's important. Migraines are a very, it's a very strange thing. A lot of people don't know where they come from. A lot of people don't, know the cause of them and anything. But they can be very, very painful and they can be very, I don't want to use, maybe traumatic is the right word, but they interfere with a person's life. Let's put it that way. And to have something like this where you could just pop it out, put it on your head real quick, I think, like you say, other than a pill, which takes what, a half hour to work or whatever.
Roughly.
Yeah, this is like instant. So this is, I want people to know that this is one of those things that you're not going to find, in any other stores. I've never seen something specifically for headaches. So this is something that I feel is unique. And this is what I like about what you guys do. You also, I'm looking right here on your site, you also have a new mushroom, entheogenic mushroom tincture. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because that's a new field. We all know about psilocybin and we all know about those type of mushrooms. But you have a new mushroom-based tincture that is for overall health and wellness. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What mushrooms are in that? I think I lost you.
Oh, hold on.
There you are.
So basically, it is a blend of a couple different mushrooms: lion's mane, shiitake, cordyceps, turkey tail, chaga, and reishi, along with rosemary and full spectrum hemp.
Oh, so there is hemp in it as well.
Oh, yeah.
So this is not just mushroom, it has CBD, so it will have the properties of CBD as well.
Yes.
All right. So now what would somebody use this for?
So I've seen clients use this for people dealing with ADHD issues, focus, immunity, pain, inflammation, overall well-being. I've seen the rosemary, especially to be beneficial to the overall product itself. I added it, I want to say, a year ago, and it changed the whole product for the better. And it also made the taste better too.
Right. And this is something you would take once or twice a day, and it's for overall health and wellness. And we had people on last week we were talking about this exact thing, how mushrooms are more than just psilocybin and getting high. And I think it's important to realize that mushrooms, as part of the ecosystem, as the fungi, the importance that they actually have in not only the overall ecosystem, but to help with our mind and bodies. And I think it's important that we start utilizing everything that we have out there, not just, cannabis and CBD. So I really appreciate you bringing that out and putting it out there to the public. So, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I was waiting for TJ to come on, but you guys are venturing into some new stuff as well, right?
We are.
You're doing what is called the full moon brewing.
Yes, TJ is taking on that project. So he's going to be doing a couple different beverages. Right now, the main one that he's been focusing on is the cold brew coffee infused with the CBD. He should be jumping on shortly. He's just trying to get onto the Zoom.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I wanted to talk to him about that. I know it was, it's something that's brand new, something that he's put a lot of time and effort into. Is it terpene infused?
It is right now full spectrum infused. We use CBG for that specific coffee that we do. It's one of my favorites, and that's like literally the only coffee I can drink without having a caffeine crash or the jitters. Usually, if I drink normal coffee, that's what I experience, and it's just like I have to smoke a lot of weed.
Oh yeah, to offset the coffee. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
actually stopped drinking a lot of coffee because of that reason. But I do find that when you add some CBD to it, or cut it in that way, it makes it more palpable for the stomach. For me, it was acid, just a lot of acid. But we got TJ just came on. So I want to
Hey
talk
guys.
to him a little bit. This is TJ Elgin, and he is also involved in something called Something Wolfie, and he's dedicated to make a positive impact in the communities that he serves. And it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Something Wolfie, but Denise and I were just getting into your cold brew.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to talk a little bit about Full Moon Brewing and what you got going on with that. It's a passion project of yours.
Yes. So I this project has been a little bit going. It started prior to COVID. COVID happened, and I lost the ability to bottle.
Oh,
But
right, right,
the basically back on track. And the premise of the coffee is if you've ever had too much caffeine, you get the jitters. This
right,
mitigates the jitters and makes it more cognitive, but it also cuts back on the acidity of coffee as well.
right.
And
That's what we were just talking about, how it makes it more palpable to drink.
Oh, yes. And the structured water I utilize for it also lowers the acidity. I raise the pH level of the water when brewing, which strips the caffeine that much easier and lowers the acidity rate.
Okay, and now this is a cold brew, comes in a bottle, right? It's not bagged coffee that you would brew yourself.
No, cold brew.
It's cold brew, and do you have different flavors? Do you have different varieties of it?
We will. We're right now. I'm working on a kind of the evolution of this brew. The new one's going to have a little bit of lion's mane in it as well, so it also works on
Oh, so
neural
you're
repair.
putting some of the entheogenic mushrooms in there as well.
Yes, so that's going to be the new release with that.
Very, very cool. Now, do you infuse terpenes in it, or is that something also that you're looking for in the future?
It's easier with state rules to infuse the terpenes versus whole flower extract, whole flower. When you're
Right,
getting into some of the beverages, especially if you do any alcoholic one, you have to use terpenes. You can't use whole flower.
right, right. I mean, and this is up down to the state. And obviously, you would like to see this sold in dispensaries or in a CBD store or other than that, right?
Yeah, yeah, no. Ideally, any places that can have beverages, even bars, restaurants. But the other part of it is I'm utilizing local roasters as well for the
Oh,
coffee
okay.
bean.
Well, I got one for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my brother's opening up a coffee shop in Guilford, and he roasts his own beans, and he is very cannabis friendly. And so definitely we will talk about that as soon as he's up and running. It should be in June.
Oh, heck
But
yeah.
yeah, if you're
What?
looking for source, so you source locally.
Yes, as much as I can.
You don't roast your own, which is good because this way you're bringing other people into the mix.
Yeah, no, and I rather I feel like going around to different roasters. I also learn more on how everybody does. Everybody's got their own unique way of doing things for
Absolutely.
roasting. So it definitely gives me a good balanced perspective on how to explain what the beans are, at least.
Right, right. No, because these coffee roaster guys, they're like weed growers. They know their stuff. They
Yeah, it's
really do.
wild.
And when you sit down and talk to them, it's like they got a wealth of knowledge of how long you roast it. This one, medium roast, light roast, dark roast, espresso roast. My brother was explaining it all to me. And there's a whole science to it, and you might as well leave it to the scientists.
Yeah, yeah. Don't try to reformulate what they do for
Well,
my
they're not telling you how to do the CBD or to grow weed or whatever. So
It's
let
true.
them. That's the way I feel like it. It's better to collaborate with others because then you're bringing the community closer together.
You have to.
um and everybody has their own lane, their own specialty. And since I have you both on the air right now, I wanted to just touch base with you a little bit on the iconography of the wolf. It seems to be something, that a thread that is through both your companies. It's Luna Wolf, it's something wolfy, it's the full moon, which is always associated with the wolf. What is it with the wolf iconography? Why did you choose the wolf, both of you actually, as your company mascot? Let's say it.
That is a good question. Steve, do you want to say anything first?
Sure. I would say, like, ever since I was a teenager, I've been obsessed with wolves just from different books that I've read, and just different series that I've just read and watched. It's always been an animal that always followed me no matter what I was doing. And I'm a moon person, so I've just put both of them together.
Ah, very nice. Would you say that's your spirit animal?
I would say so.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
And you guys kind of found that a little bit of a commonality. You're both moon people.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It started. We both found out we are in the same moon phase when we were born.
Ah,
Uh,
ah.
but the whole wolf thing with me just it kind of it worked out well with us because we both are. I don't know. I feel like we both try to take lead in pushing people to do things in the community, and I feel like there's a wolf pack value that we try to push and try to promote and grow and cultivate in different areas.
I like that. I like that a lot. The wolf pack. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Because the truth of the matter is, our bodies are actually meant to be on a lunar cycle, and that our original calendar actually is supposed to be 28 days per month
And 13 months per year.
and 13 months per year. Obviously, you guys know this. A lot of people don't, but back in the day, the Romans, in their infinite wisdom, decided to change the calendar to the sun cycle calendar, which revolves around
Well,
the
there's
equinox.
a couple things. You know, get into that whole thing there.
Oh, hold on, you're breaking up.
Yeah, Lou, you're breaking up. Can you move to a better place?
Yes.
You sound like you're entering the
It's
matrix.
one of those things that more women are on a moon cycle because a lot of that goes. Men run, bodies are based on. It's another thing. Yeah,
The
yeah.
sun. Oh, we lost him. He was in a bad spot, obviously. But I think he's right. But yeah, we are basically creatures of the moon, and our cycles, our circadian rhythms, and everything are meant to be. I mean, that's why it's there. Now, you correct me. When does the month start? On the full moon, or does it end on the full moon?
It, I believe it ends on the full moon, starts on the new moon.
Okay. So now, do you guys tend to operate in that way? Obviously, we all have to do our clock time and our calendar time. But
funny enough, it seems like we have a lot more going on towards the full moon, new moon each month than any other time of the month.
right.
Just the schedules that's busier. I
And
just think it's just that more active.
I think if people were more aware of that, they'd realize it's the same way in their lives as well. But, obviously we can't change time, but obviously in our own personal lives, we can be aware of it. And
I mean, the Romans did it.
the Romans changed it.
If they could do it once,
We
the
could
others
change it
could.
back. You're right. We actually could. Why not? You're right. I think that's something we should put in. But anyway, so you guys are out there a lot. I noticed, I know you guys did an event on 4/19 over at the brewery, the New England Brewery, to celebrate their terpene infused beer.
Oh yeah, that was fun. We love doing little educational seminars too. So
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, the education part. That's where something Wolfie comes in, right?
Yeah, and it's just it's basically to show all the things you can do, educate in all the things you can do with each industry. This one specifically with we did on the 19th was about the brewing aspect. So it's just showing people the difference between terpenes and essential oils, and how you can blend it into different brews. And for those who don't know the difference between terpenes and essential oils, a terpene is an individual organic compound, and an essential oil is a cluster of organic compounds. So it's a bunch of.
So the terpene is the more refined
Oil, yeah, the essential oil, yeah, basically.
Whereas the essential oil has many components in it. And you were celebrating actually the release of a new terpene infused beer.
Yes.
Now, how was that?
The Ganja Butt. It was really good beer. I don't know if they have anymore, but the brewers did it very well. Unfortunately, they had family obligations, so they couldn't make it. But I was able to fill in for most of that part. But it was basically the way you can infuse the terpenes in beer. Easiest way is blend it in ethanol, emulsify it, and then put that into the vat
while it's brewing, right?
While it's brewing, which is most of the time how brewers infuse terpenes into beers.
Now, what is the benefit of infusing terpenes in beers? Is this something new, or have they been doing this for a while with other terpenes? Like
they've been doing it really for a while with other terpenes, but because technically there's terpenes in all organic matter, but it really comes
right in hops. It's right there in hops. The same terpenes.
Yeah,
there's actually cannabinoids in hops.
Yeah, and that's a project that I'm still working on, trying to push the education on the combination of hops and cannabis. We did come out with a beverage a while back ago that had a combination of hops and cannabis in it, and it was a very very euphoric, uplifting drink.
Yeah, I mean, it's not THC infused, so to speak, but yet the terpenes, obviously we know there's properties in the terpenes.
And they help create that entourage effect with the cannabinoid system. So it's like if you've ever done aromatherapy, it's like that, but for your taste buds. And the thing about it is it activates a ton of different taste buds going on. It's triggering different sensories. Neurons fire into your brain that gives you that, hey, this is really good. That's why they target different terpenes that specifically have uplifting characteristics for beverages. So you end up wanting more than one.
And this is the same thing with the coffee.
Yeah.
It would definitely enhance the flavor.
Yeah, no, you definitely taste a bunch of a lot of people that have had my coffee that don't like black coffee like this coffee because you can taste some of the hemp, but the bigger part of it is it's very smooth because of the cutback on acidity. And the newest round is going to be Nitro Pack, so there'll be more of a shelf-stable part to it.
All right. So we got only about 2 minutes left. I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to shout out your social media. Tell us where we can find the new Full Moon Brewery, how we can get in touch and get your products, any events you're going to be at. this is your time now. Tell us a little bit about follow, social media, websites, the whole deal. Start with you, Luna.
You got it. So our social medias are Luna's Cauldron _ for both Instagram and Facebook. And our website where you can look at everything that we do is lunawolfshop.com. I will have a list of upcoming events soon. We are in the works on a dog festival for this coming fall and a couple of the projects.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Right? That's something we always talk about, how you can incorporate the CBD and the cannabis into other areas, and people don't understand there are a lot of dog clubs. There are a lot of shows out there for dogs, and that you definitely should be at. So I think that's a whole nother area that people don't even realize they could bring their CBD products into. So kudos
We should do
to
a
you.
dog day class.
You know, that's not a bad idea. You know, that is not a bad idea, really embracing that whole dog thing.
Because you
Now,
can
what-
talk about both cats and dogs and get a few people who've experienced what it's been like with introducing that in their life.
It is different with cats, right?
Yeah, they do taper down on the whole wildness.
They do love, I know cats love to eat cannabis raw.
Yeah, that
And
is for sure.
catnip is in the same family. So it just makes sense that they are drawn to it, and that the reason they're drawn to it is because they know it's good for them. You know?
Oh yeah, we can't have any of our plants at our place because they will find a way to either eat the leaves or pull it out. You name it, it's happened. So we don't grow anything here.
Right. So does the dog tinctures and the dog treats and everything you have, would they work for cats? Or do you have to
Yeah.
have a different formulation for cats?
We've seen the oil help cats. We are also working on some cat treat formulas too.
Yeah, I would think you could almost take the flour and hemp flour, let's say, and almost use it like catnip. You could make treats out of it and stuff, right? I mean, I think if you
Yeah.
mixed it, especially with catnip, you can make little cat toys and stuff out of it.
You
That'd be
definitely
great.
do.
All right, and now Wolfie, where can we find the brew?
My release hopefully for the new line will be May 31st. But I believe we're just finalizing the paperwork with the brewery. I believe we're going to be doing it out of Oxford. But right now you can find it in small batches at our pop-ups and
Okay.
a few stores in Norwalk and Bridgeport.
Great.
Black Bear Wines in Norwalk and Julian's in Bridgeport.
All right, and I'm sure you'll be getting it out there to more places. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Uncle Lou has left the building. Luna, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
TJ, thank you so much. We will be looking forward to seeing you out there, and you know you can get the pet treats, the headache cream, everything at Nautilus Botanicals if you need that as well. So thank you very much, Harry. We're ready to roll. Hit that music. You can follow me at Joe the Weed Guy, also at Greenhaven Media. Also like, subscribe, and share to our YouTube and Facebook pages. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you to Luna Wolf and Something Wolfie, and we'll see you next week. Take care now.
Yeah.